are there any questions?
Yes, Meredith.
Oh, questions?
That tells me how to start a composition. Just what else do I need to know before I can write a classic?
Well, now, Lina, there's an old musician saying that if an orchestra starts together and finishes together, the audience will forgive anything that happens in between.
Okay, then tell me about finishes.
Finishes, okay? The old masters were good enough showmen to know the truth of that statement about finishes, so they all tried to outdo each other in figuring out spectacular endings. The final chord always had to be some variation of do, mi, so, mi, do. And it's interesting to see how the old boys could get sensational endings just by using parts of that do, mi, so, do in different ways. Like Rossini did in the William Tell Overture, for instance. Do you remember? Do, 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 so, 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 mi, 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 do, 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 so, mi, do, so, mi, do, so, so, mi, do, so, mi, do, 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 do. Now, Beethoven made his endings different simply by making them longer than anybody else's, you know. Like in his Fifth Symphony. Still more. And that's right out of the original score. Now, I guess he figured that the audience would be so worn out that they'd applaud out of sheer relief. Just like you folks started to, you know. Well, now for the ending of the second Hungarian Rhapsody, Liszt had a completely different idea. I guess he thought he could frighten his audience into applause before they knew what they were doing. Then, of course, there's that dainty, graceful scherzo ending that gets the elegant, perfumed, gloved applause of the ladies at the Friday afternoon musical. Oh, is it too allegretto? Don't you love it? Go ahead, applaud if you want to. It's perfectly all right. Now, you see, the composers are getting tired of playing those tired old do, mi, sol, do endings, and we get around to Richard Strauss, who pulled a switch in a piece called Thus Spake Zarathustra. Now, this composition was about a subject that was so deep that even Strauss couldn't understand it. It was just one big question mark, you might say. So he finished this great work in two keys at the same time. And he produced a great moment in music, a musical question mark. Now, some bright boy now decided that they better add the seventh to those endings.
Well, that sounds very technical.
No, Lina, it isn't technical at all. Just number each note in the scale and you'll find the seventh. Easy enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That started the good evening, friends ending, or without a shirt, as you prefer. Well, that got tiresome, so they raised it a half a tone. Then they added the ninth. And then the sixth and the 11th. And you know something? I don't think there's anything more they can add. So it is just remotely possible that we may, someday, get back to a plain old do, mi, sol, do ending. It's C major chord. Wouldn't that be wonderful? So much for that. Now, I'd like to tell you why a man always stands with his back to the fireplace. It's the Meredith. Uh-oh. My dear little talking people again. Go away, will you, people?
Don't be so inhospitable, Meredith. Let's hear what's on their minds. Talking people, what can Meredith do for you?
Gosh, we want to go on the stage. Can we, Meredith? Huh? Please? Huh? Meredith?
On the stage? Well, where do you think you are now? On a ferry boat?
Oh, you know. On a regular stage, like acrobats and East Lynn.
Well, I expect this is very stupid of me, but just what do you do?
We do imitations.
Imitation. Okay. What, for instance?
Bugs Bunny.
Bugs Bunny? Well, go right ahead.
What's up, Jack?
Oh, dear. 5 Mel Blancs. Well, is there any other kind of an imitation that you can do?
Jack Benny's Quartet.
Oh, Jack Benny's Quartet. Well, let me hear that. No, that's not what I want. No, fellas. No, wait a minute. No, that's not what I want at all. No, now, fellas. Now, hold it. Wait a minute! Can't you do anything that makes sense?
You should hear us imitate goldfish, Meredith.
Imitate goldfish. Well, go ahead. Is that all?
Yeah. When television comes in, won't that be interesting?
Michelle, excuse me. I hate myself for interrupting like this, but if these talking people can give out with their corny imitations, I should think that I could tell my joke about the man who always stands with his back to the... And why?
No, you can't. Because they're all fit to do Managua, Nicaragua for the boys of Company C in Tokyo. Sorry, Meredith.
Won't you kindly open your geography? Let us turn to page 123. Between the Caribbean and the Pacific shore, you'll find a city of Managua, Nicaragua is a beautiful town. You buy a hacienda for a few pesos down. You give it to the lady you are trying to win, but her papa doesn't let you come in. Managua, Nicaragua is a heavenly place. You ask a senorita for a lethal embrace. She answers you, in Managua, Nicaragua, that's low. I have been to many times before. I'm right in food, even Brooklyn. If you're ever feeling out of sorts, I'd like to recommend a look in Managua, Nicaragua. A wonderful spot, there's coffee, bananas, and the temperature hot. So take a trip and on the ship sail away across the Alpha to Managua, Nicaragua, hooray. Every day is made for play and fun, cause every day is the end job. And they work from 12 o'clock to 1, turn off before the extra. And you can feast on enchiladas all the day long, provided your stomach is especially strong. So take a trip, and on a trip, you sail away across the Alpha to Managua, hooray!
Well, Meredith, this is where we thank the gang for asking us in. And those thanks come from everyone on the show. Meredith Willson and his talking people, and Paulina Carter, and our announcer, Terry O'Sullivan.
Meredith,
Uh-oh, talking people again. Well, what do you want now?
why does a man always stand with his back to the fireplace?
Now they ask me. Good night, all.
This is Lina Romay, fellas. Good night.
This program was arranged with the aid of the Hollywood Coordinating Committee. This is the United States Armed Forces Radio Service, the voice of information and education.